His lead didn't. He had to rewrite his story. And speaking of stories, I think everybody by now has a story about where they were when Franco Harris made his Immaculate Reception, including Myron Cope.
One reason I'll never forget the Immaculate Reception is that it could have cost me my job. You see, Franco Harris had a great fan club that called itself Franco's Italian Army. Now, as you can see, Frank Sinatra was inducted into Franco's Italian Army as a one-star general. So, okay, after Franco made his miracle catch, he was resting at his locker when a club official brought him a telegram. It said, "Go Steelers, go," and was signed General Francis Sinatra. So I said, hey, I got to tell our radio listeners about that. I knew that WTAE radio had a 5 o'clock newscast just underway, so I grabbed a locker room telephone and dialed the newsroom and said, put me into the newscast live. And the guy in the newsroom said, okay, stand by. So I stood by, waiting for the newscaster to say, here's Myron Cope from Three River Stadium. But I heard nothing. I'm looking at my watch and I saw that the 5-minute newscast was just about over. I'm totally frustrated. So I uttered a terrible and awful expletive. And wouldn't you know it, I was on the air. Outside, the roads, they were jammed, and I'm told that my terrible words, my expletive, caused at least half a dozen fender benders. At any rate, Monday morning, I was summoned to meet with 2 radio executives. They informed me that the big boss, the man in charge of the whole radio and television operation combined, was going up the wall. They also informed me that under FCC regulations, the possible penalties for what I'd done were a fine of up to $10,000 and a jail term of up to 2 years. To which I said, who does the 2 years, me or the big boss? And the answer was, the big boss. So I said, good, I'll send him a fruitcake. Well, as matters turned out, nobody got fined or jailed, and 10 years later, I'm still working here. Or at least I think I am. Big boss, if you're listening, you do appreciate my willingness to send you a fruitcake, don't you? This is Myron Cope on sports.
Now we know where you were in '72, in the can, Myron. Almost everybody has a story to tell about that day and that game. To hear some tell it, there must have been 150,000 at Three Rivers that day. No matter, we are all a part of the Immaculate Reception, and it, in turn, is a part of all of us. Don?
That's Action News at 6. We'll be back at 11 o'clock tonight. I'm Don Cannon. Thank you, and stay tuned for the Daily Number coming up next. Good night.